spirulina we call Incan spirulina, and it comes from Ecuador. It's fed with glacier water, and it's really clean. It tastes a little bit different than a lot of the other spirulinas that are out there. It's just really mellow. It doesn't have a really strong, like, fishy flavor like spirulina. Sometimes can have that. But I'm going to start out by putting our cashews in here. So it's basically like a raw nutmeg base, but I'm just going to blend everything together because cashews don't really need to be strained. And I'm going to add shilajit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with shilajit, but it's a mineral pitch. Yeah, it's a mineral pitch from the Himalayas, and it has many different names. But I get the one that's called shilajit, and it's very high in folic acid. So basically what it does is it helps to open up your cells so you can receive more nutrients.
Chaga and any medicinal mushroom is really known for boosting the immune system, like extremely, profoundly. So if you're someone who has a poor or weak immune system, medicinal mushrooms are something that you definitely want to add in. This is just one really easy way to do it. If you're going to be making homemade milks, which is fun to do, especially as a dairy alternative, or if you're trying to get your family off of dairy or friends or whatever it may be, this is just an easy way to do it, to get herbs infused to a non-dairy milk. And I just kind of think of it as like, if you're going to make nut milk, you might as well have the liquid base be tea and not just water. More almonds for creamier milk, and less almonds for more kind of watery, watered down one. And then I just blend. So and it's got dandelion root and chicory, and it has kind of a coffee flavor, so that's why it brings the latte component to the drink. It is, yeah, so if you're looking to do, kind of take a break from coffee, from roasted coffee, you could either do the green coffee bean extract, or you could do Dandy Blend, something like that. About a half of a teaspoon of lucuma. Lucuma kind of makes everything taste like ice cream, really creamy. It's got that maple, butterscotch, caramel-like flavor, so it lends that quality to it, which I really like.
Simple crust. A lot of the crust in my book, I'll put a lot of different herbs in there, but this one I just wanted to keep it fairly simple so you get the basic idea of how to make a pie crust. And any of these crusts can also be made into little cookies, or it can be a base for like a bar. You could make this pie into like an ice cream bar too, by just using the crust on the bottom and then putting the cream layer on top and freezing it. So you just use, a nut or a seed. It's going to be maybe a little bit harder on your digestion, especially when you're eating, a big slice of pie that has like a creamy filling. You're going to want something that's maybe a little bit lighter in the crust. You want to like kind of taste the salt a little bit in the crust. I just like having that like caramel and salt flavor in there from the lucuma and the salt. And then we're going to use honey. And honey is going to help bind it together. So I'm not going to be using any dates in this crust, but you could do that too. You just want to, make it even. And I kind of start making the shape as I go around. And then I press in the center first, and then I start to shape the sides. So add cinnamon. So this is going to make it just a little more fall-inspired with the cinnamon flavor. And then I'm going to add some amla extract. And amla is an Ayurvedic herb, and it's it's high in vitamin C and things, but it's going to help boost your immunity.
Same thing with the honey. It really softens up the texture a little bit, which is nice. And, I'll make fudge for people, and they'll say, oh, I like things lower fat, or some people are like, I don't care. So typically 1 or 2 tablespoons is really nice. I'm going to do a couple tablespoons this evening. And I've played around with like cashew butter and any kind of butter. I mean, any kind of butter that you can make at home, you could try in here. Wild Jungle peanut butter is really great if you've ever had that. It's a wild peanut. High in B vitamins, just to kind of switch it up so you're not always using like almond milk or almond butter. I've got 1 teaspoon of this Maca Bliss. Do you love the name? Maca really like lifts you up. It's great for endurance and energy and stamina and balancing hormones, and if you take enough, it's a known aphrodisiac. And so for those, usually I catch people at balancing hormones or stabilizing moods, you know, especially like around the holidays. People can get pretty stressed around family or whoever everybody's hanging around that may not, you know, just usually there's more tension around this time of year, it seems. So I think that's where maca serves its role. If you need to build resilience to stress and you kind of want to create that buffer around you, you need to have real energy that isn't superficial, that actually lasts. The goji berry is the happy berry. That's what it's known for. So it really induces bliss. It's exceptionally high in antioxidants. You could, of course, add, you know, a handful of goji berries, which I may or may not do. I might just save it for the cake. But this is a 12-to-1 extract, and it has 0 sugar. And then Longevity in a Bottle is a blend of the 60 world's greatest tonic herbs and superfoods, and it's all in one, so it's really nice. Like a lot of time when you're doing a lot of foods as well, raw foods and fresh and alive foods, you kind of get carried off like, woo, your energy just gets so high, it's almost like you're in a helium balloon just taken away. We also need to balance that, especially in the fall and the winter, and I find that one of the best ways to do it is with herbs. They're grounding, they're balancing, they're centering, and in times of stress or not, it's just good to build more resilience to stress. Raw cacao and wild blue-green algae have the PEA, so when you combine them, it's like a force to be reckoned with. It's a beautiful combination. For those that enjoy high protein, people really like that, and the spirulina and foods like chlorella. Great spectrum of amino acids, phytonutrients, antioxidants, basically everything. Now is the time. There's never been a better time in your life or in our lives, in the history, to get more nutrition. So when I say get a massive amount of nutrition, like I literally mean it. Like get as much into these recipes as humanly possible, because if you're doing the recipe anyway, you might as well deck it out, you know. And it's like I said, if you're getting that, you know, thing of whether it's lucuma or bee pollen or goji's or vanilla bean, it might seem like an expensive upfront cost because it's like, oh my gosh, it's whatever price it is, but it usually lasts you for quite a long period of time, and what you're getting from it is so profound, and you're ensuring your life, short term and long term.